So headed to go meet my brothers and my dad in Belmont, where we'll carpool to our destination. But this guys trip really started as I was reading a book that was recommended to me by Mark Cologne called A Season of Life, and was just interested in reading a little more about our new head football coach at Charlotte, Biff Poggi, and had no idea that the book was going to impact me in the way that it did. So I shared the book with my brothers, and fast forward, we are going on a guys trip, taking my dad, and we are going to ask him a ton of questions we just never thought to ask him before. And everybody's jacked up for this trip. We're looking forward to it. We're going to go to his hometown of Commerce, Georgia, fit in a Braves game, and ask a lot of questions. Should be epic. So the guys trip is commencing, and we're going to stop off at the Hardee's in Belmont because that's tradition from when we were kids. Tommy T would take us there on the way to youth basketball. But as I said, we're doing this trip so we can ask Dad a bunch of questions, right, Ricky?
That's correct. We're going to ask a lot of questions. We may get answers we don't want to know about.
You know, speaking of which, we actually told Dad about this idea, and he said, well, give me an example of what you're talking about. And we found one question out of the book, and the first one we came across was, what was your biggest regret? And Tommy said it was having Chris. That's sad, Chris.
Did he say that out loud? I don't know if Chris heard him.
No, we knew what he meant, though. Dad, who has been your best friend?
That's a tough one. His name was Rodney White. And we kind of, because we were close together, I spent a lot of time at their house. And so we became friends. But his dad was an airline pilot, and I think he flew private airplanes. Anyway, they left town sometimes about the time we were in junior high school.
Is that necessary?
It's not about quality behind
You want $2 of this? You want to try it?
No, just try this.
Nice.
I just want to try it.
All right. Let me get the drink. I don't want everybody to try.
Everybody goes now. Hucks, let's see if his name Hucks.
Hucks.
Yeah, that used to be a damn pool hall.
I mean, that's been there since we were kids, wasn't it?
No, the building was there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
was
building.
Hucks. It was a pool hall that it was a pretty rough place. We had to run down that hill right there.
Where was the gym?
Right over here.
And where was the football field?
That football field's there, but we didn't play on that field. We played on a field on the other side of town where the old school was. Field wasn't there when
Nike Academy or
No, it's it just says the Department
Board
of
of Education.
Yeah.
That's the old high
Hey,
school.
Dad, go back through underneath here, this tunnel, where we just came
I
from.
will.
The tunnel?
Not the tunnel,
Sure.
but the main entrance. There was a
city.
plaque there. I don't know what it said.
This is the high school I went to right here.
And then a little bit of a portico shape.
That's it.
So give me that. Let me see that. Oh,
Commerce High. We're going to get some stuff and clean that up.
This is, what do you admire most about your mom? You said, what were you saying you admired most?
Well, being able to raise us boys off of pretty much nothing. You know, she worked in the drugstore for like $1 an hour or whatever. She scrapped and saved, and we did things different. Save money and grow. It was all good. She's quite a woman, I'll tell you that.
That was your dad's office?
Yeah.
Where was the 5 and dime?
What?
Where was the 5 and dime?
The hospital was right there where that bank is. That's where they call the hospital down. That's where the hospital is. Yep. Right there.
That's where you worked?
Yep. The little Ward. Little Ward
So,
came
man,
home.
so you said a name earlier, touched on a little. Same little? Family?
Not Bill.
Look at that
I'll
wrap
come
around
back and
board.
You
show
said that
you.
was Rodney White's
Look
house?
at the steps
Yeah.
going down.
And Bose Gordon lived
Got a
over
little
there.
solarium.
The guy that nominated me to go, wanted to nominate me to go to Air Force Academy, lived right here. That's not his house where he tore it down. That's St. Mary Joe's house right there.
Which one?
Clinic one.
Tell you what, it looks like they've redone all of these houses.
Well, that's the old house.
Yeah, new shingles.
It's been cleaned
the
up
brick
and
in there.
everything.
Yeah, Richard Ridley.
Look at them Dick Redling.
This is where I went to. There was a school right here. I mean, it was right here. This was the high school, junior high school, and I went.
This is where Commerce High School was?
This was where it was Commerce High School, but I ended up when I went here.
Look at all these old granite block
I went
curbs right
to
here.
junior high school here, and that's the football field we played on down there.
Huh.
That's where I played
Look at
football.
the now we play
Look at these
baseball.
old granite curbs. These things are friggin' huge.
They don't use this for baseball anymore. They've let them.
That's where we moved when I was like 5 or 6 years old. We lived there about a year and a half on the downstairs apartment. We lived here.
What's that?
None of that was there. That was
I know they built all that. I remember the downstairs garage. That's new. Chris, you remember the pond? You say, Ricky, the pond?
Yeah, the pond's still there.
It was a big pond. I believe we used to stay down here and camp out and actually get in that creek with all the freaking snakes and everything. Crazy. I remember them telling us stories about Bigfoot while we would camp out.
This is where the infamous canoe picture is, right? Black and white.
Is that where it was taken from?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Are you serious?
Well, I don't know.
Are you making this up?
I think I may be making it up. I thought it was a good story.
Maybe it is.
That pond is definitely not as big as I thought it was.
Oh, it's bigger than I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought, oh, actually, there it is. It goes way over there.
Baseball.
Oh, shit. How dare you check this out?
The windows are open. We can go in.
There's a truck out front. Say we're insurance agents.
We're what?
Insurance agent.
Why don't you get out here with the push mower and cut all this grass? Yeah, that tree was small. And then the big magnolia, I think, was right where that
This
shed.
this yard
I mean,
right here
the
used to
garage.
cost 100 yards back in the day.
It's still a lot of yard. That's where the big magnolia was, right there.
Was there a basketball goal in there?
I don't know about that.
We're walking in. We'll do a video real quick inside.
Walking inside.
Hello? Hello? Wow. This went up to the attic. Wow. Don't even, the lights are working. This was the sitting room, or it's kind of amazing that we're actually getting to see all this. Master. Wow. This hallway seems so long. And there's two bedrooms. There were two singles in here. They were right beside each other in the bathroom. Joined. Well, they were doing everything. Wow. Magnolia is still here. I thought it was cut down, but it's not.
They never could get it started. One day I walked out there and I started the tractor. I remember that. How did you do that? I don't know how.
How old were you?
I'd be 6, 7 years old.
Maggie. Well, here we are. A good idea.
Oh, is that a good spot to lay down?
I mean, I can tell you what you said, but you can lie.
What was the question?
What was your happiest teenage day in your life? You talked about some sports accomplishments, I think. When you got your driver's license, one was shooting 100% free throws.
Well, I shot it. No, 100% free throws in the state championship game. It was in Macon, Georgia. It was played in like an opera house.
But your berth was second, Chris.
The corners of the basketball court were actually under a little wraparound, you know, and it's kind of odd, whatever. But anyway, I basically was number 6 man, but I played guard, forward, or center. In other words, I could go in for.
Man.
Good mama. That's boys. This is actually probably at Daytona Beach.
There you go.
That used to be the Andrew Jackson Hotel, and that's where Bill Anderson,
at number
a
98.
country western guy, wrote that song.
It's been there all night. First 10 beers he's had since her goodbye.
That was Harper from East
What was your happiest school day?
Probably college. Probably was I went down the basement of
Where kids law break lunch?
Dearwood it was.
You know, this guy's ass real quick.
And determined that I had passed Western civilization. Convinced I was going to be able to graduate.
All right, wrapping up an amazing weekend with these guys, and couldn't ask for it to be any better.
Yeah, I would say everything went as planned. We learned a lot about our father and his hometown, and just had a great time spending it with each other.
Yeah, it was cool seeing where Dad grew up, all the different places he went, and hearing the stories about Granny Sue and his family and friends.
They took me to see places I hadn't seen in a while. But it was all good. It was a great weekend. Really, really worthwhile.
All right, we're out.
Bing!